How you doing, guys? This is Country Boy Cornelius, and today I'm going to give you my observations on a funeral that I went to. This was a Black urban funeral. I would like to begin by saying this funeral was a result of the death of a good friend of mine. He was a guy that came from dire straits, but he was a very good, very hard worker, very determined, very tough person. And through grit, entrepreneurship, he was able not only to bring himself out of that situation, but he brought a lot of other people with him. He brought his neighborhood out of that situation. He was able to decrease the crime in his neighborhood, do stuff for the children, doing back to school things and of that nature. He bought plenty of real estate in his area, refurbished it, and decreased the crime. And he had another profitable business as well. I'm not going to call any names or get into the sequence of events that happened, but he found himself cut down before what I believe would have been his prime. And all of those events led to me finding myself at a funeral this morning. Let's start by saying I made it to the funeral about 2 minutes before the scheduled time. And these people, they wasted no time to get started. And I noticed a lot of things when I approached. This was a graveside funeral. Graveside funeral. Keep that in mind. I will start by saying that I don't like these graveside funerals. I'm from the South, the deep South, rural South. I'm used to going to funerals where you're going in to celebrate the life of an individual in their church or their family's church, and you get that intimate, homey type feeling, and everybody's engaged in the service. And I didn't see that in this situation. The people almost moved like they were soulless, lifeless zombies. The preacher, he had a hard time getting them to engage with the singers. And that was quite unusual to me. But it brought me to my conclusion that these people were numb. They have been desensitized to seeing people life taken away from them unnaturally before their time. And I think it showed in their body language. Just like people in the psychology, the psych field will tell you that communication is 78% body language or nonverbal. And this is what I was able to gather at this funeral, that these people, they are so desensitized, so accustomed to going to a funeral every Saturday that they don't even experience emotion anymore. I will also say that it displayed in the dress. I know people in these urban areas, Black people in these urban areas, we are not going to adhere to the norms of what you should wear to a funeral as people that teach etiquette would tell us. But I noticed a lot, especially when you're speaking in terms of the way that the females were dressed, or the women were dressed, or even the children were dressed. I saw a lot of women and girls dressed as if they were going to their local hood night spot. Thighs were in no short supply, booty was in no short supply, and breast was abundant. There was even a lady there, and I'm going to remove this banner. And there was a lady there. She was walking around like this to keep from having a wardrobe malfunction. She had a lot of cleavage and she was about to lose it. And so she was walking around at the funeral like this to keep her breasts from coming out of her dress. And she was the only case that I saw that extreme, but there were plenty of women walking around with breast on display, just like headlights on a car on high beam. Plenty of women and it was as if they thought nothing about it, because it seems to me that they're so accustomed to going to funerals on Saturdays that they're just going to wear to the funeral what they're going to go on about their day and wear what they would normally wear on a normal summer day in the hood. And I think that's something that needs to be reversed. I think we need to look at the purpose of going to a funeral. And that purpose is to show respect for the family, let them know that you are giving them your support, to show respect for the deceased. And I just don't think you're showing it dressed inappropriately at a funeral. No matter what we think about religion, there's some spiritual aspects of a funeral, and I just don't think dressing is in such a way is appropriate. I know in these areas money can be an issue, but I also know in these areas there's no shortage of $1,200 cell phones, $1,000 purses, custom rims on cars, paint jobs, sound systems, what have you. I think it would be a better idea, even if you had to buy one appropriate outfit to wear to a funeral. And if you had to go to 3 funerals a month, if you would wash that outfit or dry clean it and wear it, I think you're showing more respect to the deceased and their families or their family members than coming to a funeral being inappropriately dressed. We have to start somewhere with some type of standards in the community. I hope you enjoyed this segment of Country Boy Cornelius. Please leave your comments. Thank you.